Hello viewers, welcome to all of you News Watch World. The today's big news is the winner of the US presidential election between the two main candidates, Trump and Kamala, will not be determined by the direct vote of the voters. In test of the federal election, the winner will be determined by the election of each state. Winner one of 50 states in America means that the candidate considered will receive all the electoral college vote in the state. For example, there are 40 electorates in Texas. Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, who receives the most voters in the state, will win the 40 electorates in the state. The total member of the electoral college votes is 538. If the electoral votes of all the remaining states except Maine and Nebraska and added, the candidate who receives 270 or more votes will be elected president. That candidates remaining mate will become vice president. On December 13, the electors will gather in their respective state capitals to vote for their party's candidate, officially ending the presidential election cycle. What is the voting method? Each state in America has its own voting method. Its many causes. It differs from one another. In total, votes vote through three primary methods. Number one, handmade paper ballot. The most common and easiest method is presidential election. About 70% of the people exercise their democratic right using paper ballot. Number two, ballot making device or BMD. More than 50% of voters use the computer controlled voting method. It allows voters to select option on a screen and then a paper ballot is printed to confirm their choice. This method, introduced in accordance with the Help American Vote Act or HAVA, also has special methods for people with special needs. Number three, direct recording electronics or DRA. This electronics machine based method is very similar to our EVM. The electronic system records the public's vote in memory without any paper. Louisiana and Nevada have implemented the system and more than 5% voters trust it. But the Nevada system was controversial in the last election, so it is expected the turnout will be lower this time. How are votes counted in America? Hand-made paper ballot and vote cast in BMDs are usually scanned using an optical scanner. This allows the results to be automatically. recorded automatically. This process is managed by a provincial level election authority. In addition to the counting method, there is also a system for counting vote manually if necessary. In addition, some provinces also have a process for verifying and counting the votes cast in the mail-in ballot system introduced for easily voting. Provisional elected authorities have to hand over the result to the federal authorities by December 11. Who is in the electoral college? Electoral votes are not senators, members of House, representatives, governors, or anyone else. For this, a completely separate group of voters is elected. This is decided in the two stages. The first stage is controlled by the political parties. Before the general election, the two parties submit their list of nominated electoral voters. This is known as the state. The general voters who choose the state. The presidential candidate who wins the most states, the slate of the party is elected as the electoral voters. The member of the electoral voters in a state is divided by how many congressional district is has. Each congressional district has one vote and two votes for two senators. The time California has 52 congressional districts like all other states. It has two Senate states. As a result, the total number of electoral votes is 54.
We did a great job in that we brought it back to the states, as you know. I believe in exceptions, as Ronald Reagan did. And we did a great job. We did something that they've wanted to do for 52 years. Well, it'll be just that. We want to bring everybody in. We want to be very inclusive, and we will be very inclusive. We have a great country, but we have a country that's in trouble. It's in big trouble in many ways, and we have to straighten it out. We have crime is through the roof. We have people pouring through our borders that are not exactly perfect. They come out of prisons. 13,000 people convicted of murder. We don't need this in our country. We have enough difficulty. We don't need that. So I think people saw that, and it just seems that the conservatives are voting very powerfully. No, I feel very confident. I have felt. We went in with a very big lead today, and it looks like Republicans have shown up in force. So we'll see how it turns out. But it seems that they have really shown up in force. I just got a call from Dan Patrick in Texas. He said they've never seen anything like it. Look, regrets, you always have regrets. I can't think of any, to be honest, to use her expression. I can't think of any. I ran a great campaign. I think it was maybe the best of the three. We did great in the first one. We did much better in the second one, but something happened. And this was the best, I would say this was the best campaign we ran. It should never happen. A thing like that should never happen. This election should be over. They spend all this money on machines. And frankly, if they'd use paper ballots, it would be over by 10 o'clock. And by the way, the paper ballots would cost 8%. It would be 8% of the cost. If they would use paper ballots, voter ID, proof of citizenship and one-day voting, it would all be over by 10 o'clock in the evening. It's crazy. Uh, they use these very expensive computers, and I'm hearing in Pennsylvania they won't have an answer till 2 or 3 days from now. I think it's an absolute outrage if that's the case. Now, maybe it'll be later, but it's paper ballots in France. They went paper ballots because the mail-in was not working. It was corrupt. And in France, they went paper ballots. And at 10 o'clock in the evening, they had 37 million votes counted and done. They had a winner, they had a loser. And in this country, I mean, I'm just hearing that in certain states, it's going to be a long time, and it won't even be close. It won't even be that close. They say, I'm going to win this.
Hello viewers, thank you to be with us and keep watching our favorite news channel News Watch World. Thank you so much.